If you're a personal trainer and you struggle to keep clients for more than 12 months and your cancellations are keeping you stuck at the same income every single week or even making you go backwards, this training is going to reveal exactly what you need to do to fix those problems and create sticky clients who stay with you for 2 to 3 years or more. There's a big focus on marketing and getting clients on the internet, dude, but not many people really focus on keeping clients. You go to all the effort of doing your marketing, running ads, DMing people, putting offers out to get clients, but it amazes me how little people really focus on keeping clients. So we wanted to create a really tangible, actionable training on this to give you guys something that you can do to keep your clients, to stop them from canceling. I mean, you go into all the effort of keeping them. Let's keep them on board. There's a number of reasons why trainers really struggle to keep their clients for more than a few months. We've got a number of our students that have struggled with it, where they're dialing in their marketing and their processes to acquire clients, but then they stay for like the minimum term, 3 months, even less. They're always complaining about their contracts or, trying to, what we find is like they tend to like shit test you a little bit to see what they can get away with. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely. And they always will. Whatever they can get away with, they can. And if they start to notice the cracks appear, that they'll take advantage of it every time.
Yeah. So if that's something that you're struggling with, then this is going to help you massively. Now, there's a number of reasons most trainers really struggle to keep clients for more than a few months. Ultimately, it comes down to 3 things. 1, they suck at setting expectations and boundaries for clients. This is a big thing for people in general, setting boundaries and expectations and communicating their wants, their needs, and their boundaries, their lines in the sand. Most people fucking suck at that. We don't learn that early on as children. A lot of people are actually taught how the opposite of that because they're raised in families that are dysfunctional. Most people are, at least. They're examples for how to communicate rubbish.
Most PTs, they want to please, they want to serve, they want to please, but they will literally do that at the expense of their own health, of caring for people more than about money. And they're all stories because it's one and the same thing, but they weren't taught that. And because they weren't, this is what happens. It's a reflection of what's going on for you personally.
Martyrdom. Yeah. Martyrdom. Self-sacrificing, martyrdom, and almost like devaluing yourself. We speak so much around like how business relates to your self-worth and all that sort of stuff. And it's so true when it comes to setting boundaries and communicating. The second reason trainers really struggle with keeping clients is they suck at getting clients excited about the future. This is something that we've learned the hard way as well. Mm-hmm. When people run out of future with you, they leave. So if you can't get them excited about the future, if you can't keep them engaged and have their sights set on what are the things that I am here to do and why am I here in the first place, you're going to struggle keeping clients. The third thing is they don't give clients anything to look forward to. If you have nothing for clients to look forward to, again, the second they run out of future with you is the second that they leave. And then what happens? You have clients that have shit come up in life, as it always does, right? Life happens, things get hard, they lose sight of why they started in the first place, why they actually came on board with you as a client. They stop taking action and become avoidant towards the things that they need to do. So they stop seeing results and then they cancel. How many times have you had that happen? Like that exact sequence?
Oh, it happens all the time. And as you say, it comes down to a lack of vision. If you don't know where you're going, it's like, I use this analogy a lot. It's like you're like a boat without a rudder. The engine's on, you're kind of floating, and you know what it's like. If you're not kind of getting results, and all of a sudden the easiest thing to do is to kind of blame, the coach or whatever, versus
the strategy or the thing that 100%. Yeah. The strategy doesn't work, or that's something that pisses me off about people's mindset. You put a post up the other day around how people's mindset these days is like the second something doesn't work, it's either that they see it as a scam or it doesn't work or it's someone else's fault instead of taking ownership. I fucking hate that.
Yeah. There's 2 versions, guys, in business. If you think about it, of being a victim, you can be superior or you can be inferior. Superior, you're a martyr or like a lone wolf. I have to do it, right? That's one way of being a victim. I know people don't, this is more common, the really, really driven person. Who then, they're fucking shit, I can't rely on a team, or I've tried that, it didn't work. Usually they weren't ready, so they lone wolf it. Or the other is, poor me, this is so hard, it doesn't work. And again, it's the inferior version of being a victim. Either way, none of them really help you when it comes to business. No. Because you're either 100% responsible for it or you're not.
Yeah. This is an interesting topic that we've talked a lot about, and we tend to speak a lot about this sort of stuff behind closed doors. Before we get into kind of like the tactics and the strategies to keep clients, I really want to touch on this because like this is a big thing that we see because we coach a lot of trainers, right? And we coach a lot of people from all different walks of life, different ages. The most common pattern that we see a lot of the time is a lack of extreme ownership. If you haven't read that book by Jocko Willink, go and get it. It's a fucking gem. The thing with extreme ownership is you have to be willing to take complete ownership, complete responsibility of everything in your life, of everything that happens, of everything that you do. The challenge with that is it means that negates pretty much every excuse you've ever had for not doing the thing that you want to do or not getting the results that you want to get, because you realize in taking extreme ownership, it's all your fault all along. Everything is your responsibility, and it means that you have the solution and you are the problem. You're the problem and the solution. So it means you can ultimately solve your problems, or you can continue to be a victim to them. It's entirely your choice. And yeah, like it's a big thing that you need to realize when you start running your own business. You are responsible for everything. You're responsible for your results. You're responsible for your lack of results, and everything comes down to you. You are the problem and the solution. That's the mind frame that you need to come into this with.
I don't want to go too much into the coaching of mental emotional, but I think people really struggle with that. Like, what about people that were fucking abused? And I think this is deep shit that, again, guys, we come into the industry with our stories as well. So when you're coaching someone, just remember, you come into it with a story and it either is like a useful belief or it's kind of useless. But I think people really struggle with that. And I come back to the example of, if you're, for example, a coach that seeks like instant gratification, right? And you've very much got that mindset, oh, I really need to get things happening quickly. And it's very short-term focus. And if you start to get a few hits, which in business, you're going to fucking cop on the daily, on the weekly. Like most of the time, guys, in business, you feel like you're fucking losing until you have a win, like you sign a client or two. And you can think about how hard you work to get that to work, right? So if you're holding that, then what happens is the same thing, it gets reflected back to you by the type of clients you attract, because that's the level that you operate at.
Yeah, you attract the energy that you put out.
Yeah, so when you see that happening, right, that's the challenge. Whereas I always say this, where do you want to go, and do you want to put the fucking hard work in the next 3 to 5 years, right? What are you willing to do? Because when you understand that, you've got to take responsibility for all your stories and all your shit, and you got to understand that regardless, the hardest thing is to realize it's all happening for you. I don't want to go too much to the mental emotional, but it's fucking true, because you're here and you'd be watching this because you're like, right, well, I want to grow, right? So if you want to grow, own it, right? And then accept where you're at, and then we move forward, because that's the game. We're not evolving, we're kind of de-evolving.
Yep. And it's super important to understand this going into the first thing that you need to do, right? The first thing that if you really want to dial in your client retention and keep clients, create sticky clients to stay for years, the first thing you really need to do is learn how to set clear standards for all of your clients from day one. In order to do that, you need to first know how to take extreme ownership. You need to know what standards you want to set for people, and you need to be able to hold people to that standard, right? The whole extreme ownership thing, the whole responsibility thing, like you want to train your clients to also think this way. You want to train them to also take extreme ownership, because when you have clients that are blaming you for their lack of results, oh, my trainer didn't get me results, like, you know how that feels. You know how that fucking feels. So if you are not taking extreme ownership of your own shit, your clients are also going to reflect that to you. And that's what's going to happen in your business. So you need to learn, one, to take extreme ownership and set clear standards for how you want your clients to show up, right? You need to get clear on what you will and won't tolerate, because what you tolerate will persist. Yep. So how do you want your clients to show up? What behaviors do you want to expect from them? What are your responsibilities and what are theirs? You need to get clear on all of these things. Make a list, set these expectations, set these standards so that you can communicate them to your clients. Because setting them is one thing, communicating them is another. You need to get really clear on this, and whether you do it at the end of your sales call, once you get a client on board, or on an onboarding call when you first sign them up and get them set up with your app and whatever you're doing, like you need to have a discussion with them around standards and how they should be showing up, right?
And in your marketing, man. Like it all starts from the start. If you get this coming up, hey guys, fucking great opportunity to go, what do I stand against? What do I need to put out there? Because I want to repel that shit. Like I don't want that. People who want to be a victim, push that away. What do we want to attract? We want the people that take ownership.
Big time, big time. So you can start to indoctrinate people into these things, into these standards that you hold for yourself and your clients from even before they become a client, which is super, super key. The example that I like to set is like, when things, like you communicate this to your clients, when things get hard and life happens, as it inevitably does, I expect you to run to me, not from me. Mm-hmm. If you run to me, I can help you adapt what we're doing to keep you on track and solve the problem. If you run from me, problem's still going to exist, but you're going to stop taking action and doing the things that are creating progress and moving you forward. And that's going to mean you are then moving backwards. You're putting the weight back on. You're going backwards. You're going back to where you were. So all of the work that we've done literally was for nothing, right?
Ultimately comes back to the fact, guys, that people really struggle to actually ask for help. And we see this a lot. Like, if they're paying you as a coach or they're paying us to coach them, that they find it really hard to just ask questions, right? Like ultimately we want to be problem solvers. And so most of the time we're as coaches, we're helping them navigate their shit, whatever's coming up in their world, and keep them on track. And sometimes we have a straight run and we can go really hard at training, right? Other times life's going to come up, we've got people going through all kinds of stuff with their family and, like breakups and all kinds of stuff. Cool. But what's the other option if we take our eye off the ball from business, right? Like what, we go backwards? Like you get the worst results? You see people that drop off. Do they get better results when they leave or when they stay and go, I'm really struggling with X. How do we work on this?
You think about the best marriages, right? The most successful long-term marriages. The reason they are successful is not because is not in spite of the problems. It's because of the problems. It's because they work through the problems and they grow together because of that. It's the same thing with clients. It's the same thing with business. Every single time a problem comes up, like you need to coach your clients, run to me, not from me, because I can help you solve the problem. You will get a better outcome. We will have a better bond and a better relationship and more trust, which means that will then compound our results as we work together over time.
Yep.
Right. So you need to get really, really clear on this. And if you take the time to actually communicate with clients like this and be so transparent, think about just doing that one little thing. How much trust do you build with your clients? How much transparency and honesty and like the precedent that you set for your client relationship with those clients going forward is so much better. And then it makes it so much easier for you to have difficult conversations with them later down the track because you have already set a precedence of honesty and transparency from the beginning and you've held them to a higher standard. Super important. If you do this, this alone will make a huge difference in your business. And how many times have we said since we've started Coaches Collective, business is the best personal development tool there is? It's fucking true. It brings up all your shit, and through you developing the skills and the character you need to build a business that you want and have the life that you want, you are ironing out those little kinks. You are developing yourself and your character. You are bringing up those weaknesses and developing them into strengths. And that is what allows you to then build a business that you ultimately love, that gives you the life and the financial time and location freedom that you really want. Because it's about the problems that you're experiencing, you succeed because of them. Because of how you develop in those, same with your clients, you succeed because of those problems, not in spite of them. The problems are there to develop your skill set and character to get you to where you want to be, not the other way around.
Ultimately, your identity, you need to see yourself, you're not a trainer. Your identity is you're a coach. So the better you can have this honesty, we say this a lot, emotional regulation is the key, right? For you and for your clients, so you don't get thrown off when their stuff comes up. Guys, they're not going to leave you. Stop thinking in scarcity mode. Think this is a great opportunity, a story that we can help change someone's perception to get them showing up for themselves, keep them on track. That is the ability to coach. If you can do that yourself really, really well, and you're in a stable place, you're going to be able to work through anything. And again, you're going to have this depth where no one's going to want to leave you because you've kept them on track no matter what fucking came up in their life.
Cool. So that's the first thing. Learning how to set clear expectations and standards from the beginning, right? The second thing is learning how to keep your clients focused on their vision and the progress they're making, right? You have to sell the destination, not the plane ticket. This is something that PTs get stuck in a lot. You probably do this yourself, talking a lot about the plane ticket, like, how do we get to where we need to go? It's the training, it's the nutrition. Okay, cool.
It's my app.
Yeah, it's the app. It's like, cool, you need to be eating more protein and blah, blah, blah. Like none of that matters until clients understand the destination that they're getting to, right? People don't care what you know until they know why it's important. If you use the plane ticket analogy, right? If I was going on a trip somewhere, I don't want to know about the fact that I'm going to have to pay $40 to get an Uber to drop me at the airport. I'm going to have to wait in line while I check in. I'm going to have to go through security, empty my water bottles, probably throw out some of my fucking shit that I forgot to not pack because it's over 100 mils. And then sit in the waiting area, waiting for the what are they called? The attendees to call us up for the plane to start boarding, and you're paying $10 for a coffee, and then you get on the plane, you're sitting next to some fat fuck, and he's like stinky, and that's not what I want to know. That's the plane ticket. That's the process. Yes, it's important because it means you get to the destination, but the thing that you need to focus on is the destination. You need to talk about the fact that by 4 p.m. today, you're going to be sitting in a pool, drinking pina coladas in Bali, looking over the beach. That's what clients want to know. You need to get them focused on their vision, on the process, on their progress, and get them clear on what are they actually doing this for. And you need to remind them of that all the time, right? Don't fixate on the plane ticket and neglect the destination, because the destination is what makes the plane ticket important, right? It's context. If you don't do this, what happens is clients will lose sight of why they started in the first place. So it's your job as their coach to put the blinders on for them and have a way to keep them focused on the destination, okay?
Yeah, re-engage them, right?
Yeah, always constantly get them recommitted recommitted to the vision and recommitted to the goals and why they're doing this. Okay, you need to find as many opportunities as you can to remind them of this. A few of the ways that we get our students to do this is regular progress checking calls. So you can have little calls, on a weekly or a monthly basis or something. You can do them as group or you can do them as one-on-one. Having testing days every month or quarter or whatever frequency you decide on, but having things and little checkpoints that you can use to get people refocused and recommitted onto their goals, and also looking at their progress. If you're doing something like a testing day and you're testing body fat percentage and doing, weights, weight and, strength gains,
Strength testing,
strength testing, all of that sort of stuff. Like they're seeing how far they've come. And then if you also weave into that an element of recommitting to their next goal, their next thing, what's the next thing, the next stepping stone, what's the vision, the next kind of thing that you're aiming for.
Yeah. And what are the struggles as well? Like, not just where they're going, but what have been the struggles? What have been the things you have been struggled to navigate, right? Like, again, because there's going to be a problem, but we're always helping them solve it.
Yes, big time. The other thing is like having goal setting sessions with them, right? If you're wanting to go online as a coach, it's a lot more important to have things like this that you can engage clients with, because otherwise all that they're going to be getting is their programming, their nutrition, and you're just going to get stuck in this week to week Groundhog Day cycle of like, they're just doing their training and their nutrition, their check-ins, and that's it. Like, you need to give clients something to look forward to. And so if you can create little events and little things like this where they have something to look forward to, but it also serves the function of getting them clear on and recommitted to their vision and seeing the progress that they've made, it's a massive value add for them, because they're now getting something that's far beyond what a PT or a trainer is delivering. So you're differentiating yourself and making yourself unique in the marketplace, but you're also making something so good that people will feel done leaving. Because where else can they get something like that? Like, they will come for the fat loss and the transformation and the workouts and the programming and the help with that. But the reason they stay is for all the other stuff. The reason they stay is for community, is for engagement, is for you actually giving them things that they can't get anywhere else.
And the fact is, with most PTs, you're always focused on learning and growing. So as long as you're finding a way to share that for them, they're always like, I fucking love it. And then that's where the change and the newness can keep coming, right? We always want to engage them with those little bits of newness.
Big time. Yeah. So that's the second thing, getting them clear and recommitting them to their vision and the progress that they're making, reminding them of those things constantly. The third thing is creating a client journey that gives clients something to actually look forward to. Human brains love to chase shiny objects. We love novelty, right? You think about how addictive our physiology is, right? Biologically geared to be addicted to certain things and
little
to have
dopamine animals. Yeah,
100%. So you need to create a client journey that gives them those shiny objects to chase, rather than working against human psychology and human biology. Work with it. Give them the right shiny objects to chase. Don't tell them to not chase shiny objects. Just give them the right shiny objects to chase, and your job will be so much easier. Not only does this keep your clients more engaged, but it stops them getting distracted by the wrong things. So if you're coaching a client and they're like, oh, what about keto? Or what about intermittent fasting and blah, blah, blah? You are not giving them enough shiny objects and enough novelty in what you're doing to keep them focused on the right things that they should be doing, right? You need to keep them really, really focused on the right, give them the right shiny objects to focus on so that they are not getting distracted by the wrong things. That makes your job so much easier as a coach as well, because now you're not having to tell them why this is bad and this is good and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not having to educate them, right? So the best way to do this is we actually tell our students, get a big annual calendar and think about what are the things that you want to set over the course of the year for your clients to look forward to. We do this every single year, and we get clear on what we want to have for our students and our clients to keep them engaged, to give them things to look forward to, right? Plan out some events, some workshops, and some meetups, right? Think about what are the things that are going to serve your clients and help get them closer to their goals. Equally, what are the things that are going to keep them engaged and build community? What are the things that are going to get them to stay long term? What are the things that they won't be able to get anywhere else? Andy Frisella is a great example. If any of you know who Andy Frisella is with First Form, right? Have you seen the First Form festivals and stuff, like the events that they run? Like, they run challenges, and this is a supplement company. He's creating clients for life by creating events and like a community.
75 hard, right?
Yeah, but that's just within his personal brand. You think about the supplement company that he runs, First Form. Like, there's so many things that he does to create lifelong clients and raving fans. They have a cult in what they do in the supplement company. Not like, yes, he does that for his personal brand as well, but in the supplement company, like, how many people can say that they have a cult-like following for their supplement brand? Like, go and look him up. Look up Andy Frisella on the internet. Go and find his podcast. Listen to it. It's amazing.
Real AF podcast. It's awesome.
Even his old one, one, MFCEO, is fucking awesome as well. Look at the events that he runs with First Form. Look at the things that he's doing, challenges, festivals, like parties, meetups, things that build community and bring people together. And he has some of the longest, highest client lifetime values of anybody in the supplement space because of what he's doing and the value that he's creating for his clients. Because they know that if they go and buy a supplement from First Form, yes, they're getting quality, they're getting the thing that the supplement delivers and blah, 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 but they're also part of something much bigger. That is why he's able to create clients for life, because he's giving something bigger for people to be a part of, right?
Now, can I just say this falls into something we said last week, which I think is super valuable as well. And we talked, bringing this all together, we talk about standards, for example, right? And I talk to PTs on the phone all the time around, if you think about why you sell what you do, and most PTs are selling training and they're selling sessions. I ask them, how many times a week do you train? Now, yes, your clients aren't you, so they don't have the same starting point. You've probably been training for years. Like I train right now, I'm doing the 75 hard challenge, which I'm pushing myself in the back end of the year. It's a stretch. Optimally, I typically train 5 times a week. At the moment, I'm training 7. I've broken up my training, and so I ask trainers, like, how many times are you training? And if they're training 5 times a week, it's also about, there's the week to week of like what works around their life, and more often than not, they're going to need to train at least 3 times a week, right? 1's going to get them nowhere. 2 is going to get them okay results. 3 is about the sweet spot, even if you're more novice. If you can build everything around what gets a result, there's the lifetime customer journey of it can, yes, we can get them to embrace the boring of the week to week and training, and we get the nutrition thing, and it just becomes repetitive. But if you can think about extending your lifetime customer value, and that's what we're talking about here, guys. If you can go, right, how do I, think about the year and think about the cadence of our year. And as Matt's saying, what we love to do is we love to blend live events. So we'll do either, online or in person, 2 or 3 day events 3 times a year. That breaks up like the year into like every 3.5 months. And then we have stop off points. And then in between that, there's not just us speaking. We've got key speakers. We've got guests, all kinds of other guests, different types of topics and weekly things that come out. So we're giving this newness and guys,
novelty. All the time. How do you create newness and novelty as much as possible? Because even Netflix is a great example. You go on there, they usually have all the same shows, but if you ever notice how they change the thumbnails on the shows, they always mix up the thumbnails so that you're like, that's new, that's different, right? You want to do the same thing. It gives clients a shiny object to chase. It gives them novelty. It gives them something new and different to focus on. You're going to summarize or finish the thing you were going to say?
No, I just think, guys, there's your macro, and if you understand your macro, you can break it down into your micro. It is about keeping it fresh. Just think as well, you guys have got great networks. You've got allied health pros, you've got nutritionists, you've got people that you could bring in, that if you want your strength to be your strength and your weakness to be plugged by someone else, you can do that and make it really fucking cool. And again, make it into a place where it's cult-like following and they never want to leave.
100%. Going back to the example, we run one in-person retreat every single year. So at the end of the year or at the start of the year, we sit down and we get the big year-long calendar. We sit down and we think about what events and what frequency do we want to have these things in. We have one in-person retreat every single year, 2 online intensives. So that's kind of like a 3-day event that's online. And that means we more or less have about 1 event per quarter, not counting the Q4 where we have like Christmas break and that sort of thing. So on all of the other quarters throughout the year, we have 1 event, right? 1 big main event, which usually is like a 3 to 4 day thing. Then we run a planning session in between every single one of those events. So it becomes kind of like every 6 weeks, we have a 6-week game plan session, which we get all of our students recommitted to their vision. We get them clear on the plan and the things that they need to do over the next 6 weeks to actually make that happen. You can do exactly the same thing. You can have, whatever frequency you decide on, 6 weeks or whatever. 6 weeks is a good time frame because it's like long enough to get something done, but not so long that you're burning out or you're getting bored. So think about what are the things that you are going to be able to give your clients? What are the events and the stop off points, the little milestone check-in points that you want to give your clients, whether it's group call where it's kind of like recommitting a group goal setting session or something like that. Challenges are a good thing to do. Events, workshops, guest speakers, having people come in and deliver some sort of value gives people something new and different to look at, right? Gives them a shiny object to chase. If you figure out what your cadence is, what your frequency is of those things, you plan it out over the course of the week and you run your clients through that. Again, because doing it is one thing, communicating is another. Make sure you're communicating it, record a video or something and break down. This is what's happening in this year. This is what we're doing. This is the things that are planned out for us, right? Again, it gives them something to look forward to. And if
internal marketing, right? It's just as important as external.
Yep, big time. And if they have something to look forward to, they're never going to leave, right? The second that people don't have anything to look forward to, the second they run out of future with you is the second that they leave. So keep that top of mind. There's always got to be something new for clients to look forward to. So that wraps things things up, guys. Remember the 3 strategies. First, set clear standards for your clients from day one. Get really clear on the expectations you have for them and how you want them to show up. 2, remind them of their vision and progress as often as possible. Create little stop-off points and use events and things like that to always recommit them to their goals. If you need to, have a call, have a check-in call. If you're doing weekly check-ins with your clients and you notice something come up, give them a call, speak to them, tell them like, cool, like get them to recommit around their goal and their vision. Cool, like I notice your training dropped off a little bit this week and your stress is a little bit higher. Like what do we need to do to keep things moving forward? Because your goal was this and this and this. And the only way that we're going to get there is like by actually doing the thing. So what do we need to do to dial things back and make it more manageable for you if you're going through some things right now? What do we need to do to keep moving forward, right? Always get them recommitted to their vision and their progress. Lastly, create a client journey that gives them new stuff to look forward to all the time. Get a big year-long calendar, plan out your cadence, plan out the things and events that you want to be able to deliver to your clients to keep them engaged and build community. Those are the things that they're going to stay for. They come for the training, they come for the nutrition, they come for the transformation. The reason that they stay is because they're getting something that they can't get anywhere else. So your ability to deliver that is what's going to get clients to stay, right? This is above and beyond obviously actually being a fucking good coach. You need to actually know what you're doing and deliver, results to your clients. But beyond that, it's like, that's not hard to do. Most PTs, most trainers learn that in the first year of running a business, right? It's not hard to put somebody in a calorie deficit and get them exercising pretty frequently. That stuff anybody can do. The stuff that no one else is doing is the stuff that keeps clients for a long time. Last thing, I've got this thing in my head that we didn't mention all video.
What is that?
We went camping and four-wheel driving over the weekend, and one of our other mates brought a 308 rifle. Lining up the scope, put my face way too close to the scope, and bang, recoil gashed me right there. So I've got a nice little scar right there. Big Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's not a fashionable thing.
Yeah, no, not for the moment, especially not for filming and creating content. If you found this helpful and you're trying to grow your PT business, we've got a full A to Z checklist that reveals everything you need to grow an online business to a consistent $3,000 week. It's 100% free of charge. You can just grab it in the link in the description. There's no sales pitch or anything like that. It's literally just a checklist, A to Z. What do you need to have in your business to get from where you are now to $3,000 per week online? That's our gift to you. Yeah. Go and check it out.
Everyone asks, what do you do if I want to grow an online business? This is it. This is what we coach. So a lot of value in it.